Hello, thanks for tuning in. I have my friend Krasi Attasio from Belgium with me now, and we are going to discuss on um, Saturn retrograde. Saturn is retrograde in Sagittarius, and Krasi is a very good Babylonian astrologer who is one of the very few Babylonian astrologers and the only Babylonian astrologer that I know of who is my friend. So I've had so many insights from you, Krasi. Thanks for joining me, and I'm sure you're going to bring in so many great insights with regards to Saturn retrograde from Babylonian point of view.
With pleasure. Thank you so much, Ashwin. Thank you. Yes, Saturn retrograde, I think we all know about this. It's something very significant. It is significant, and we will have to be a bit patient. I think Saturn will be retrograde for quite some time, 4.5 months from now, I think, until 10th or 11th of September, if I remember well. But what I know for you is interesting, of course, the Babylonian point of view.
Mm-hmm.
In Babylon, Saturn was god Ninurta. And Ninurta actually is ruling the agriculture. And something very interesting is that Saturn was not considered very evil. He was like illustration of wisdom. Mars was much more scarier for the Mesopotamians than Saturn, because Saturn has one very good feature, that he's predictable. Though you know that Mars even had the name the unpredictable. So Mars in Babylon was really very, very scary for them. And they would really watch very closely Mars, and every different appearance of Mars would be considered as ominous as well. So God Ninurta, Saturn, he's ruling the agriculture. So before we talk on how this will affect people, the agriculture is the key to me, and connecting with the nature during this period is the key. I know this we were supposed to say towards the end, but I have this always in mind. Yeah, I have this always in mind also for myself. Now when Saturn is such and such, I really need to connect with the nature more and more, because he's God Ninurta, he's the ruler of the agriculture. So this is a bit, so he was not considered evil, because people would really bow, to him, as he would teach them wisdom. And actually there is no one else in our solar system who would teach us wisdom. It's only Saturn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is a lot of other views as well. But I think Saturn is also a great teacher of life. And yeah, I've read in many places, and I also felt in many ways that Saturn can kind of teach us so many things. And moreover, Saturn is placed in the house of righteousness, the house of guru or mentor, which is the natural ninth house of the zodiac, Sagittarius. And Saturn is going retrograde there, and Ketu is placed along with Saturn, which is even more scary as it appears to people. And then there is also going to be a opposition, Saturn-Mars opposition in the nodal axis from Gemini Sagittarius zone, and Saturn is also making its way back into the sign of Sagittarius, and it's already, I mean, Saturn is already making its way into, but still it is kind of slowly picking up its pace in retrogression. It's just station retrograde, so things are much slower and things are not entirely clear or visible at this point of time. So this is the do you agree that this is the point of time where people need to kind of rethink or reassess their philosophical or religious ideologies at this particular point of time? And coincidentally, this Saturn retrograde has kind of made a lot of impact also with regards to whatever calamity or tragedy that has happened in Sri Lanka, and also Notre Dame, Paris. So, which is very, very sad, because in Sri Lanka there is a lot of at least 400 to 500 lives were lost in Sri Lanka. Saturn's retrograde position in the nodal axis in the ninth house of the zodiac, which signifies religion and God, is kind of filled with maleficence, and we've already seen the terrible impact of what can happen, because there is a lot of art and architecture that has been destroyed in Paris, which is at least 800 to 900 year old heritage of not just Paris, but I think it is a great kind of terrible feeling and loss for the entire global humanity itself, where almost everyone in every part of the world kind of felt the uh, the tragedy, where it's difficult to lose something so old. And
Well, Ashwin, I'm interrupting you
no problem.
because I just want to have bracket here at this point that you make, because if you look, because I searched on Google and I looked at videos which would describe, I've never seen this church from inside, but this is a Gothic church and it is full with satanic images. So this particular event, I'm so glad there were no victims and people are alive, but this particular thing I see as a serious, very important spiritual omen. It's a sign. And if you see this church and around the church, there are these demonic images inside the church as well. So this church for certain didn't serve to help spiritually, to uplift the spiritual, growth of the people of France or everywhere, because many tourists would visit this church. It was like the most important tourist destination in Paris. And when I looked at the demonic images, when I saw specialists describing their meaning, like that they were taken and they were copied from the ancient grimoires, the books which some of them serve to make black magic. I found this very, very interesting, because when such thing is into fire, and the fire is symbolic in every culture, in Indian
Yeah,
culture, you have Diwali,
purity.
the purity. So I see this like something good for the people. It's like we will be entering another level of spirituality, like purifying, changing the kind of changing the current beliefs. We will be entering new level, and maybe this is valid for all, because we are collective soul, all of us, in India, in Europe. So this is not, it's sad because it was a beautiful church, and it's sad to see something destroyed, which is an artifact. It was built in the 13th century or something. This is what I read. But if it is really a sign for upheaval, for purifying our souls, for entering another level of spirituality, then it's certainly not bad.
Yeah, I think it also happens as a prelude to the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. And Jupiter and Saturn conjunction happens once in every 20 years, and it brings about a major change in the society. So, uh, and so many people have had so many perceptions about this, but without any speculation, I think you and me are establishing the fact here that let it be good henceforth, and things don't go uh, bad from here. So I think there is
No,
already
no,
a lot.
no,
Yeah,
certainly not.
things have already gone wrong in Paris, and I just hope that I just hope that people of Paris and the believers of uh, uh, that particular spiritual ideology have all the courage to pass through this bad phase that they've been going through. It has been an emotional period for everyone. So I just hope that Saturn retrograde and Mars kind of opposition doesn't form any other such calamities to the heritage and also humanity, because I think we our heart goes to those people who lost their lives in Sri Lanka. And
Oh, this is different, yes. Yes,
yeah,
because
so
there people lost their lives. In Paris, nobody died, luckily.
yeah, luckily, yes, nobody died. So, and so it is just that we even though we know that something, the positions are not entirely good in the sky, but we just hope that the worst is gone. So, so what is Saturn retrograde? I think in Babylonian astrology we have specific degree points where Saturn is going to touch the specific degrees that it already passed through. So we already have a rebuilding phase in terms of uh, what happened in Paris. So there is a lot of rebuilding stuff and plans for rebuilding that is already going on. So uh,
Yeah.
what are the other rebuilding from an individual point of view? A person can have a lot of philosophical changes in his mindset, and whatever the belief system that he has been following, things he might review or reassess, and then kind of verify it again whether he needs to follow a specific set of rules or not. So do you think that is kind of relevant at this point of time?
Yeah, certainly. You're asking, I'm looking now at my computer, and you're asking at the degrees where Saturn is.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturn is turning retrograde. Actually, of course, yes, it's Sagittarius, but specifically, this is happening in a term, in a section which is ruled also by Saturn. There he's,
Saturn bounds.
Saturn bound. So it's one time you have Saturn turning retrograde in his own bound, which is okay. This will not make him angry.
Yeah. Saturn is in its own place.
Yeah, in his own dignity,
yes.
And this is good. This is in harmony with his energies because he's in his own section, of
good.
course. Yes, the thing is, see that even right now I'm looking already at the chart for the 1st of May. Pluto, Ketu, stationary Pluto, and Pluto is also turning retrograde together with Saturn. This will be very transformative, and we cannot deny that this can lead to difficult events in the world of all kinds. I expect fires, forest fires, all kinds of fires, because it's happening in Sagittarius, it's happening with Pluto. It can lead to dramatic events, even hostile events of all kinds. This cannot be easy for all of us. And because this is Saturn and Pluto is so slow, it will be slowing down everything on Earth. It will be like we will not have shortcuts to anything. We will have to to go through the full procedure of things. It's like whatever activity one takes would have to go and follow all the steps. That's what I think. The other thing is authority issues with authorities. People should be very careful when like doing procedures or initiatives or deeds that are related to official authorities. I think this will impact, this can be slowed down, like everything on Earth. And especially when Mars will join somewhere, I forgot the date, but around the middle of May. This is becoming heavy and people should be careful. Like, don't do risky initiatives, risky travels. Don't, not starting business. It's not appropriate. Don't get into risky conflicts, communication. Just be really on the safe side in almost everything. When traveling, to do it safely. And I think all Earth, because we are collective beings, we will feel these energies. But the most basic thing is, important thing is that apart from the fact that we will be reevaluating our belief systems, all of us, and we will kind of like discover new details related to what we believe in or philosophies. Apart from this, we have to be careful, at least until, let's say, 11th of September.
Yeah, so careful is there, yes, of course. I think it's a period to be kind of lying low because of Saturn. And I think the good news here is that Saturn is placed in righteousness, that is Sagittarius. So whatever happens is going to happen for good. So, but at the end of the day, I think it is important for us to minimize any man-made errors or man-made errors that can cause some kind of significant impact in our lives or significant impact to the society or at any mundane level. So it is important to stay focused and lie low during this period of time. And we should also not be very vocal about spreading our own philosophy or religious ideas. That can also kind of invite trouble to you. So you can just lie low and keep your ideologies for yourself, because this is the period where you're, as Krasi said, you're reevaluating your own belief systems. And when you are reevaluating or reassessing your own belief systems, you don't want to put it out to the public and see
Yeah.
and kind of create unnecessary controversies or something, because this is going to be a period of controversy as it is. And especially the prelude to great conjunction is kind of opening up. There is a Saturn's retrograde is kind of a the perfect start to various changes in the society and belief systems at a mundane and a global level, not just an individual level. And
Absolutely.
we hope that we are getting into a positive territory of where humanity kind of develops and world becomes even a better place. So thank you so much, Krasi, for joining. It was wonderful to have your insights, and we'll continue to do more such videos.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashwin.